Now, your local weather with the KX Storm Team.
Well, I'm sure you've noticed it's been a little bit foggy in most places today, and the National Weather Service has actually seen the fog as well, and they have issued a dense fog advisory for a good portion of the KX viewing area. Does not include Burleigh County, so the Bismarck area not included in this, but Morton County is, and a good section out to the west. This goes until 3 a.m. Mountain Time. If you're in one of these counties, you can certainly expect your visibilities to be a quarter mile or less. And a perfect example of that is Dickinson. As we take a look at the Dickinson Skycam, lots of thick fog out there, and it is below freezing. So if you're heading out, that fog can actually freeze on surfaces called rhyming, and there could be some slick spots. Even though those roads may look wet, they could actually be icy. So take it easy if you're headed out tonight or early tomorrow morning. You're at 27 in Dickinson with a wind chill of 16 degrees. Meanwhile, also in Bismarck, you're dealing with that fog. Can't see much from the Skycam because there's just so much fog. Winds are east at 11 miles an hour. You're at 25 in Minot. The fog isn't as bad up to the north. Your wind chill is 14 degrees. And in Williston, they are not dealing with the fog at this hour. They're at 27 degrees with an east-southeast wind at 9 miles an hour. Elsewhere across the region, temperatures mostly in the mid to lower 20s. The cool spot right now is Rolla. You're already down into the upper teens at 19 degrees. The warm spot, ironically, is Beach. You are at 30 degrees at this 10 o'clock hour. Here's a look at those visibilities. They're kind of all over the place. 2 miles in Bismarck and Harvey, but still 10 in Hettinger, 2 miles in Linton, 1 mile in Mobridge, but 6 miles your visibility to the northwest in Crosby. Putting Precision Cast into motion, we've got a kind of a potpourri of weather coming our way on Sunday. It's going to be a freezing rain and a snow mix, maybe even some plain rain you can see here down there in Dickinson. What I do think is I don't expect a lot of icing, little or no ice accumulation, and most of this should transition to snow as we go through the day. I think most of the snow will be east of Highway 83 and to the northeast of Bismarck as well. I think if you're in western sections, you don't have a lot to worry about. Most places do not have to worry about a lot of snowfall with this system. You can see here a general trace to an inch across Bismarck, Garrison, Dickinson. I think you'll see less than an inch of snow. But then 1 to 3, the further north and east you get, and areas further to the northeast, closer to the Canadian border, you can see here, probably 2 or 3 inches in these areas as well. So something to keep in mind for late tomorrow night and Monday morning. So your forecast for Bismarck and Dickinson looking like this. We've got that thick fog, 23 degrees, maybe a little overnight snow tonight with a quick disturbance that's sliding through, but it won't amount to much of anything. Same pretty much applies in Minot and Williston, 23 degrees your overnight low with that patchy fog. Meanwhile, in Bismarck and Dickinson tomorrow, you will rebound into the lower 30s with that afternoon snow, maybe mixing with some freezing drizzle at times before transitioning over to all snow by later in the afternoon. Minot and Williston 33 degrees with a freezing rain and snow mix, again transitioning over to all snow by the late afternoon hours. Here's a look at your extended forecast for Bismarck and Dickinson. You can see that after we get through Sunday, things dry out and they stay relatively mild, although temperatures will start to slide to the south. You can see Tuesday night into Wednesday an overnight low of 3, which is why we're looking at wind chills 20 to 30 degrees below zero. And meanwhile, in Minot, Williston, pretty much the same thing. There are those chilly wind chills Tuesday night and Wednesdays. Your low is 2 below zero. And then as we get into next weekend, Malik, temperature is probably hovering around 0 again.
It all seems pretty manageable for this time of year, though. I'm just glad that it's not in the major negatives.
Right. We are right around normal, so it's nice.
Well, thank you, Robert. And coming up next in sports, a dynasty continues how NDSU secured yet another FCS title.